Okay, and welcome to another edition of Glenelg Football Club's Tiger TV. I'm your host, Tony Symonds, and we're very fortunate today to have the reigning best and fairest winner at Glenelg, Josh Scott, and his beautiful mum, Karren. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Lovely to see you both. Now, I think we'll start with you first, Josh. We'll give Mum last go at you, I think. Been at Glenelg for a number of years now. Give us the Josh Scott story. Tell us how you ended up, well, your pathway through junior footy and how you got to Glenelg Footy Club, mate.
Yeah, so I grew up in Lakes Entrance, about 4 hours from Melbourne towards Sydney on the coast. Played my footy at Lakes Entrance and then at Gippsland Power in the TAC Cup. Went through there till overage, 19. And then at that time, Nick Stevens was my coach and got the job over here, and fortunately got offered a contract to come over here. And
the rest is history, as they say.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, who else? A couple of guys came over with you, I think, at the time when Steve-O brought you over. Who else came over?
Tom Muir came from the same area as I did, and then at the few other recruits that year was Mitch Thorpe, Andrew Hooper, Sam Lonigan.
Okay.
A couple other
So
boys.
a few luminaries there.
Oh, and AJ, who I moved in with.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Probably should have done that, really.
Him first.
I would have thought. So, and it's been a real win for us, Josh. I mean, obviously had a great year last year, probably a breakout year last year, I would suggest, after being pretty serviceable before that. But winning the best and fairest last year was massive, and probably means you get a bit more attention this year, I would think.
Yeah, it's been a bit different this year compared to last year. I had sort of Clint Alloway, Roy Kirkby up there helping me develop, and then they've obviously moved on this year, and having Liam McBean as well this year has helped a lot. Sort of he takes first defender, second defender, but it's a lot different getting a bit more attention and actually the opposition knowing who you are.
Yeah, definitely puts a bit of pressure on, but you look to me to be one of those guys who thrives a little bit on the contest. There's a number of words we could use for that, but really contested. That seems to be a major part of your game. The contest seems to get you fired up, and you seem to play your best footy when the pressure's on like that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Does that mean he's got a bad temper?
He's a mongrel, yeah.
A mongrel. Got that in early.
On the footy field, he is.
Well, let's just retrace a little bit. I mean, we were briefly talking before about the commitment involved, being a mother, driving your son to football training and to games. Just tell us a little bit about what you went through years ago.
Well, being so far away from where Josh played and trained, it was a 2-hour trip there and back twice a week just for training, so a 4-hour turnaround just for training. Most games were Melbourne or past Melbourne, so that would be an 8-hour, 9-hour trip just on a Saturday for footy. And Josh, being Josh, would sleep coming home and be nervous going there, so it was pretty much just mum sitting driving while Josh was chilling.
It's a difficult life. Well, we're all going through it. You know, I've got a son myself, and sometimes I want to talk, and other times I don't want to talk.
No.
So some of your memories of that time, though, I mean, it must be difficult watching your son get smashed around and probably targeted, probably one of the better players back in the junior days, I would have thought.
Yeah.
What's it like sitting on the fence watching your son get belted around the head all the time?
It was really different up until where he played in the TAC Cup. I was always the trainer for the team, so the club trainer. So you tended to watch the game rather than just Josh. But when I wasn't in that role, it was, really nerve-wracking. And he'd always run back into packs and put his head over the ball and all that, which is great. But as a parent, it's not too cool watching your son get cut up and knocked out. And
what about back in the car after games, just before he went to sleep? Would you critique his game, sort of tell him the truth, or did you sort of blouse it up a bit for him?
No matter how I played, I always played good in her eyes.
Look, it depended. If he had a really good game, we'd obviously talk about how really good, but you'd read his moods then. But no, I was always honest. And I happened to mention that even on the weekend that there were a few chest marks there that I thought he should have taken. Yeah. And I was told to not worry about those and just move on, move past that.
You do have to pick your fights a bit though sometimes, because some battles aren't worth winning.
No, he's good for feedback.
He is good feedback.
no,
I
he's
know
pretty
personally when my parents used to tell me I played well all the time, I didn't like it,
Yeah,
to be quite honest, and
no.
you'd end up in an argument with your parents, and
It's better off being honest.
so you're better off going to have a couple of beers and talking about it with your teammates. Now,
Yeah.
talking about teammates, have you got a favourite? Have you got a bloke that you really like playing with because every time he gets the footy he looks for you, or is there someone that you don't like much because he never kicks it to you?
Oh, Christian Howard's always good. He always hits me up when I'm up there.
No real favourites?
I won't drop any names.
What about the skipper? What about the skipper?
Braddles. I haven't played too many games with the skip. So last year he missed a fair bit with injury, and my first few years I was sort of in and out with the league side. So I haven't played too many with him, but he's always good. Always.
Goes pretty well, I reckon.
He's a jet.
So you've played over 50 games for the footy club now, kicked nearly 100 goals. So you're getting into that middle bracket now where you're not one of the new kids.
Yeah.
And that carries a bit of expectation around the place. How are you dealing with that?
Yeah, it's good. So most of our group now is kind of getting into that stage where 24, 25, around the 50-odd games. So it's good having other blokes around you in the same stage of their careers, and the groups gets along really well this year.
Yep.
And it's not really divided into groups. It's just one big group, so it's really enjoyable at the moment.
Now, Karren, I'll have to take you to task a little bit.
Yeah.
Josh has been here. This is your third or fourth year.
Yeah.
And how many games have you seen him play out here? Tell the truth.
Maybe two.
Maybe two.
Maybe two.
And both times we've played,
Norwood.
and both times?
Well, the first time was at Norwood and they got thumped by 140, and then on the weekend. But vast improvement. I miss it terribly.
Well, I mean, I know the coach wouldn't agree, but it didn't feel like a 40-point loss
No,
to
it
me.
didn't.
It
No.
sort of was
It was
a
a
fairly
really good-
competitive game all night in pretty testing conditions in the middle of winter, so it certainly didn't feel like that, but disappointing,
was.
nevertheless. So you must have a plan to get back here again this year and see a winning game, surely.
I was just saying to Josh, the dilemma would be if they got in the finals, do I come to the first final and hope they win, but then I'd have to come back again. So,
Well, that's all right.
hopefully they get in. I can come to a final would be good.
Well, the coach wouldn't want us to get too far ahead of ourselves,
no.
but, we're certainly, I'm planning on us playing finals. I'm sure the boys are as well. Equal fifth. I mean, this week's a big game,
Yeah.
Josh, isn't it? We're
Massive
playing
game.
South, who are sitting equal with us. How do you see things going there?
Yeah, we probably started pretty poorly against South last time and got too far back, which hurt us in the end, losing by a goal. But we usually match up pretty well against South, and I know the boys want to bounce back after the weekend because we have improved a lot, and we deserve to play finals this year, I reckon. We've just got to finish off well and hopefully scrape in.
Sounds like leadership material to me. Josh Scott, putting it out there for everyone to have a look at and put a bit of pressure on the boys. Well, look, we do want to thank Karren for making the effort of coming over to watch Josh play. Josh, I'm sure you're pleased to have your mother here. We thank you both for taking time out today to star on Tiger TV, and I hope we see you again before the end of the season, Karren. And Josh, all the best for the rest of the year.
Thanks
No,
for
thank
having
you.
us,
Thanks for
Tony.
having me. Thank you.
Cheers.
Right.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, and welcome to the first edition of SYMO and KRISTIN at the desk, as we're calling it. Big welcome to Kristen Jeffrey, our commercial ops manager at Glenelg Footy Club. Welcome, Kristen.
Thanks, SYMO. Thanks for having me.
We're just going to run through a few things that are happening at the footy club on a weekly basis, and very excited. This is our first go at it, and of course the week gets off to a big start next Saturday when
does.
the Tigers play South Adelaide here at Glenelg Oval next Saturday afternoon.
It is. It's a 2-10 match, and we're probably putting it down to a must-win. We've got about 3 to make that the 10 wins, and that will put us in the final. So, yeah, really big game, 2-10. And hopefully everybody will get down and watch the boys.
There's always a bit of feeling in that game, the South game, the local derby. So get down there and support the boys. A must-win game next Saturday. Now, moving on from there.
Yes.
We've got a new menu here at the footy club.
We do.
Don't know if that means we've got a new chef. Have we got a new chef or just a new menu?
Not necessarily new chef, but definitely a new menu. Started last Wednesday, lunch and dinner, definitely for a need to book. It's really popular, great comments coming back, so yeah, make sure you book and look forward to hearing your comments, really.
Well, there you go. If you're going out support the local footy club. Come down and give them a go, because I have heard really good things
Yeah.
about the food down there. So
Definitely.
definitely worth a look. Glenelg Football Club. Now, on the horizon,
Yes.
Bordertown, down in the southeast, a major recruiting area for Glenelg for many years. And the boys are travelling down there for a game of football when?
On the 30th, they play Sunday the 30th, but we're actually putting a bit of a package together starting on the 29th. So we're inviting people to come down. We're organising a dinner on the Saturday night. It's at the Bordertown Hotel, and everyone's welcome. So we're doing all the bookings through the club.
If I wanted to get down there, how would I get down there?
Well, on the Sunday,
Here's a good idea. We could put a bus on.
yes. Well, we're hoping to do that Sunday being the game day. We need to book the bus. We'd like expression of interest. We need about 50 people. It is going to be $60 a head, but we're planning on leaving about 8:30 in the morning and coming back just after the presentations, which will be around 5 o'clock that day, and then driving back that night. So if you are interested in coming down, please give reception or Emma a call and let her know. And then, because we must fill the bus for it to be able to go.
Yeah, and the dinner, we're going to we're advertising. We're going to interview
Yes.
some former Glenelg players,
Yep.
former Crows players.
Yes.
So that sounds like quite a good
Yep.
evening if you're staying down.
It is Bordertown Hotel, $75 per person. It is a package, meal and drinks included. Should be a really good fun night. And once again, details, website, and also to book through Emma Reception.
So support the footy club. Big game out here next Saturday against South Adelaide. In between times, come down and have a feed down here, try the new menu out, and have a bit of a think about going to watch the boys play an away game at the end of July. Support the footy club. We'll be back next week with, what's it called again? At the Desk.
At the Desk.
With SYMO and Kristen.
Thanks, Samo.
See ya.